Just to confirm, right? You closed your first deal within 2 to 3 days of launching the system fully, right?
Right.
How many calls before that first call that you took, Pauline? How much sales experience do you have? Tell us.
Absolutely none.
None,
I spent my
right?
life in the military, being a soldier, and then I went to being a college professor. So I have never had to sell one thing. That was scary for me, is having to get into sales. If you get an opportunity to work with Sage, you should jump on it and take it. He's definitely going to steer you in the right direction and help you get where you need to be.
So today I'm with Pauline, who went from pretty much 6 months before she started working with me. She was doing a bunch of different things inside of different school communities, joining different courses, free programs, X, Y, and Z. And right now, currently within the first 2 to 3 days of her running her system fully that we implemented with her, she's already signed her first client within 2 to 3 days of launching her campaigns, running her system that we helped implement with her. Now, this is insane because there are a lot of people who I speak to every single day that are in the exact same position as Pauline before she started working with me. And I think it's super important that I got her to sit down with us today, ask her a few questions, and understand how she was actually able to go and sign her first client so quickly. So that being said, I'm going to hand over to Pauline, let her introduce herself, then we'll get into the questions. Go for it, Pauline.
Hi, I'm Pauline Klein. I'm a Go High Level user. I actually started using Go High Level about a year and a half ago now. And I was getting very frustrated with not being able to figure out how to do everything and to sell the system to other people. And I kept seeing Said's videos and stuff, and I liked what he had to say. And it seemed like he was very knowledgeable and wasn't just saying what he thought I wanted to hear or whatever. He was telling me truly what I needed to do to get going. And from the first time we started working together, I knew that he was going to help me get where I. And so when he's told me to do something, I just jump in there and do it. And it's helped me finally get to a point where I'm going to start signing up customers.
That's awesome. And before we even started working together, Pauline, right? Let's try and understand what was happening before because it's great. We'll talk about the clients and where you currently are and what the plan is for the next couple of months to come ahead, which we're both super excited about. But let's actually understand the story beforehand. Before we even started working together, talk to me about what were you doing to try and get clients? What was the strategy? What was your time being spent on before we even started working together?
Well, my time was spent on taking courses and signing up for more school groups and going in there and trying to take their stuff. Basically, if you've ever heard the saying shiny syndrome, shiny object syndrome, I was very guilty of that. Everything that popped up, I'm like, oh, I need to learn that. And so I would start in this course. And then even before finishing it, I would find something else and I would pop over to it. And before I knew it, I had all of these different courses. I still wasn't being able to put things together. And I was just pretty frustrated. And that's when I started working with Said, and everything's finally coming together.
And how long were you in that position for, Pauline, before we started working together? How long were you joining these different school communities, jumping in these courses? How long was it like that for?
It was about a year or so. Um, I was spinning my wheels and I wasn't getting anywhere.
Mm. And you spent a whole year going through that journey, right? So you probably understand it as well as the audience that are probably listening to this, because most of the people that are listening to this are in the exact same situation. You spent a whole year in that space, right? You spent a whole year spinning your wheels, as you
Yes.
said, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is the most frustrating thing about that period? What is it that really got you during that period that made you think I need a change?
Well, I would get started in the online courses and everything, and I would get to a point where I was stuck and I couldn't get answers and I would get frustrated. And then, of course, another course would come along and I'm like, okay, this one will work this time. So I would jump in it. And before I knew it, I had like probably 10 courses that I had joined and that I had done a little bit in each one of them. But I always got to a point where I got stuck and couldn't get past that. And I could never find anybody to ask or any way to get help. And so I felt like I was just kind of stuck and I wasn't getting anywhere.
Yeah, no, that's completely understandable. And in that period, Pauline, right? How were you coming out of pocket at the time? I know before we even started working together, you told me you were paying for different communities and you were paying for different things. You're obviously paying for your Go High Level account. How much were you actually coming out of pocket during that year period? How much money were you spending?
I'm probably about 15,000 in the hole right now. I've paid 6,000 for this. I've paid 10,000 for that. I was a member of Extendly. I tried Boomerang Me, I think is the official name of it. So I tried a bunch of different things, hoping that they would kind of just fall together. But that didn't happen. I needed somebody that would give me direction and tell me, look, this is what you need to work on doing this. And once you're done with that, then we'll move on to something else. And that structure has been very helpful for me.
Yeah. And you said you're $15,000 in a year. $15,000 you spent in a year to try and get the ball rolling on this. Now, really quick, I want to stop and give you a round of applause because some people, honestly, not even joking, you see it in my community. You're a part of it, right? You see it. There's people that come in and they want to see results within a month, within a week, within a day. And they don't understand that this is a game that requires multiple different skills. When someone comes into this space, they do not have the skills, the sales skills, the client fulfillment skills, the marketing skills, the appointment booking skills. Most people don't have all these skills that stack on top of each other. And they think that without those skills, they're going to be able to be successful in a day, 2 days, 3 days. Look at how much you invested. Look at how much you committed. Look at the determination you had. You spent $15,000 and you still turned around and you said, I'm not done. I'm still going to fight. I'm still going to make this work. And that is exactly why it's working today, Pauline. Forget our program. Forget what we did to help you. That spirit, that fight, without that, doesn't matter what program you come into. It doesn't matter who you work with, right? Without that inside you, if you don't have that fire inside of you, forget it. There's no point in running the agency because you're going to run into issues. You know it better than anyone else. You're going to face issues when you're running this agency. You're going to run into obstacles and hurdles, but it's about what you do to handle those obstacles, what you do to handle those hurdles. Now, you told us, okay, you spent 15K on Extendly, a bunch of different programs. I don't want to keep rubbing it in because it's hurting me as you say that, right? Why didn't they work though? Like you spent so much money. How many clients did you sign from all that money that you spent? What was the return that you actually saw from that 15K?
Zero.
Zero? So
Zero.
you had spent 15K and out of all these programs, not a single one of them actually helped put any money in your pocket.
Right.
But why? What was wrong with these programs? What was missing from these programs that didn't help you to actually go off and sign clients and make money?
Well, some of the ones that I got into, the videos and stuff would just be so long. They would be like over an hour each. And I don't always have that much time to sit down and commit. Whereas if I have smaller videos, I can get in, listen to that, put it to use, then go to the next one, look at it, put it to use. And for me, that's easier. These long, drawn out, over an hour long videos and stuff, I have a hard time paying attention that long.
Yeah, I don't blame you. And let's think of it like this, Pauline. We now have a very clear picture of where you were before we had started working together. let's think of it like this. If you had stayed in that position, right? If you had continued to do what you were doing for another 6 months, where do you think you would have ended up? What do you think would have happened if you continued going down the route that you were going?
My plan was that if I didn't start making things happen, I was just going to give up and focus my attention elsewhere, because I was really, really frustrated before we started working together.
Mm. And it's understandable. You spent $15,000. You were doing it for 1 whole year, and I know you. You were showing up every single day. I know the determination. I know the work you were putting in. You were showing up every single day for a whole year. You had spent $15,000 just investing in yourself, investing in different courses, investing in learning, right? But ultimately, you signed no clients and nothing actually changed. And allow me to jump in here, but I think, right, the biggest problem in all of that is a lack of focus and a lack of clarity, right? Because a lot of people, yes, you know the space we're in. People are telling you go left, other people are telling you go right, another person is telling you come up, and another person is telling you come down. We're in a space full of marketers, and their job is to try and market you to come in their direction. And that often leaves people in confusion because everyone's got conflicting thoughts and everyone is wrapping things up and packaging things up in a way where it's kind of horse shit, and it doesn't actually give you what you need to actually go and sign clients. People are telling you to go and do database reactivation. People are telling you to go and do voice AI. People are telling you to go and do this, to go and do that, to go and do that. But ultimately, how on earth are you actually going to sell that? How on earth are you going to get people to jump on a call with you, show interest in what you're doing, and hand over their hard earned cash for the solution that you are offering? No one really shows you how to do that. No one
Right,
really shows you how to actually get people interested in what you do and actually get people wanting to pay you for what you
right.
do. So, what was the moment where you realized, right, where what we are doing is different to what you've tried before? What made you think, okay, this is the path that I need to take? I need to go down this path with Saeed because this is clearly giving me something that these other programs are not giving me.
Well, I mean, like I said, I had watched, kind of in the background, watched a bunch of your videos and stuff, and I had joined your school group, and all of your messages and everything were always consistent. It was always going in the same direction and working on from the same place, basically. And everything you said in your videos just made sense to me. And it was like the right way to go. It was what I needed at the time.
Mm. And talk to me about what when now that you've come in, right? Since you've started the program, talk to me about what was different once you started the program compared to what you've tried before. When you came in and when we had started working together, why was it different? Why was it able to get you to a point now where 2, 3 days in of running your campaigns, you've got your first client who's coming up to close, right? You've got 3 calls booked within 2 to 3 days. We're predicting within this first week. Well, I haven't told you yet, but my goal for you is to get 3 people at least enrolled in the first 7 days of you running your campaigns, which is crazy. But tell us, right, before we even talk about all these crazy results, tell us what was actually different. What did you notice when you came in? What did you think? Yeah, this is different to what I've tried before.
Yeah, because we would meet and we would talk about a few things. You would show me stuff, and then you would give me, goals or something to work on to get done before we met again. And so I was able to take what you were teaching me in our meetings and right away go and put it to work. And
Mm.
so I was building on my knowledge as we were meeting and doing stuff together. And I mean, to be honest, I mean, I'm motivated myself, and I don't want to let myself down. But I felt strongly that I didn't want to let you down because I knew you were committing a lot of time to all of our meetings and answering all my millions of questions and stuff. And so I really didn't want to let you down.
And this is the level of clients that I attract, guys. This is the level of people that I work with. Are you listening to what Pauline has just said? More so than her letting herself down, she didn't want to let me down. And that's the level of clients that I attract. That's the level of clients that Pauline is going to attract. This first client that she's closed, this first client is going to love Pauline. They're going to stay with Pauline for months. I can guarantee you that. Because every single thing that I do, every single thing that I preach, my clients are doing the exact same thing. Every single thing I tell my clients to do, they are doing exactly to a T. Every single one of my clients, like Pauline, they come in and was I giving you a cookie cutter course, Pauline? Was I giving you a bunch of videos and telling you to go and off and figure it out on your own?
No.
What was we doing? What it was one to one, right?
Yes.
And everything was tailored to what you needed, right?
Yep. You
In
were
your
always able to answer all my hundreds of questions.
And most importantly, right? I think this is the most important thing. We understood where you were when you first started. We broke down the raw reality to you. I literally said it to you on that first call that we had, Pauline. Right now, where you are sucks. I said it to you. I said, right now, where you are sucks. And likeliness is it's going to suck a little bit more until we can actually get the ball rolling in the right direction. Until you become clear, until you become focused, until you start taking the right actions every single day, things are going to suck. And we made a very clear game plan for you. I literally said to you, Pauline, this is the game plan. This is what we are going to do for the next 30 days. This is step one. This is step two. This is step three. This is step four. And look at where we are right now. We follow the game plan to a T, and that client is closed. You've got another two opportunities tomorrow where you've got someone else that you can potentially onboard tomorrow. And then we've got all these other days this week where we've got more potential people to reach out to book into our calendar, to potentially turn into paying clients as well. How important was that for you to have that direction, to know, okay, this is exactly how it's going to work? And how, more importantly, how important was it for you to see that that direction, that game plan actually worked?
Yes. The first appointment that I got scheduled, I was on cloud nine. I was so excited.
I love it. Now, just to confirm, right? You closed your first deal within 2 to 3 days of launching the system fully, right?
Right.
How many calls before that first call that you took, Pauline? How much sales experience do you have? Tell us.
Absolutely none.
None.
I spent my life in the military, being a soldier, and then I went to being a college professor. So I have never had to sell one thing. And that was scary for me, is having to get into sales.
And what did I actually say to you yesterday?
I don't remember what you said yesterday.
Remember before the call, we sat down and you said to me, look, Saeed, this is scary. I have no idea what to say to this person. I have no idea how to convert this person. And what did I say to you? I said, you're supposed to be scared. I said, you're supposed to feel like this. I said, you're supposed to feel nervous. It's just like the first time you joined the military. You felt nervous, right? Because it's unfamiliar to you, because you haven't done it before. But the most important thing, Pauline, was what? You taking right action. You taking the steps towards actually closing those clients. Because imagine now I had told you to go and spend another 6 months on building some crazy system to go and sell to people when you haven't ever spoken to anyone, and you have no idea if someone wants to buy it, and you have no idea if the market is even interested in it. Tell me, how long did we actually spend to this point right now? How much time have we spent on building something for the clients that we're working with? How much time did we spend on that?
I don't think much.
Zero. We haven't built anything for anyone yet, have we?
No.
We haven't built a thing. What did we do first? We closed someone.
Yes.
Right? We've got someone who's already turned into a client before we've built anything. Now, that is the exact opposite of what you were doing 6 months ago. You were spending all the time trying to build something before you ever even spoke to someone, before you ever even knew that someone would be interested in what you do, before you ever even took any of the right steps in the right actions in place. Right now, you are in a position where within 2 to 3 days of launching the system, you've got someone who's already signed up to your service, right? You've got this person who's already signed up to your service, and you've got another 2 opportunities tomorrow. This person that signed up to your service, they enrolled into your program before you even built a thing for them. Now,
Right.
remember what I had said to you. What is the first client for us? Do you remember?
No, I don't remember.
We treat the first client as a lab rat. Remember? I told
Yes.
you that first client, remember you had told me, oh, I'm worried, I'm not sure if I can get someone results. Oh, I want to make sure that I have something built out before I go and speak to people. What did I say to you?
That you can't do it that way. You got to build what they are wanting, what they need.
Not even, yeah, pretty much, right? Not even just build what they need, but the idea that we work with for you, Pauline, was okay, we're going to go and get you in front of someone. We're going to have a basic idea, right? We're going to give a basic framework. We're going to know, of course, how we're going to get them a result. We're going to know, of course, what we're going to pitch them, what we're going to sell them. But the idea behind it is we do not build it until they actually enroll into our program. Now that we've got someone who's enrolled into our program, we've got that number one, right? We've got that first person who's ready to go into our system. What are we going to do for them, Pauline? We're treating that person as our lab rat. Because guess what? That one client is going to put us miles ahead of all those people who are building cool little bots in their backyard, thinking that is cool, but they're just building it based on their own validation. You know why we're going to get so further ahead than they are, Pauline? Number one, we are building something based on what the market actually wants. We're building something live for a real client. We're testing it live for a real client. That first client, what did I say to you? We don't care about the money they pay us. We're not trying to build a massive agency from client number one. We're not trying to become extremely profitable from client number one. You want to be in this game for the next 10 years, Pauline, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you want to be right at the very top, right?
Yes.
You want to do this in the longevity game. And we both agreed, okay, in order for us to do that, client number one needs to essentially be a lab rat, where we test different angles, where we prove that our concept works, where we prove that we can get them results, and most importantly, where we can build our leverage and build our case studies. Now, once we do that for client number one, what do we have now? We have something that is tested and proven to work. And then what do we do, Pauline? We take what we've already tested, we take what we've already proven to work, and we go and sell it to 50 other people because we've already tested it. We've already proven that it works. We already know it gets results. We've already got the case study and the leverage. Now, right, every other client that we work with, essentially, what we are delivering client number two is the exact copy and paste of what we delivered to client number one. Not only have we built something that actually gets results, we built something that is extremely scalable, because all you're doing now is spending 10 to 15 minutes copy and pasting for every single client, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the beauty.
For a lot of that time that I was stuck, that was something that I was afraid of, is going into sales and not knowing how to do that, thinking that there was some magical formula to it. And I would go to meetings talking about how to overcome these obstacles or these objections and stuff like that. You had even given me kind of like a script for my first meeting. And I had read through it and everything before the meeting. But once the meeting started, I just started talking to the person. And it just became of him telling me things, me telling him things, and just back and forth dialogue. And from that, he's like, I'm in.
It's a people business. And
Yes.
this is the thing, Pauline. You know, Mike Tyson had a really, I think it was Mike Tyson, but it was Rocky. They have a great saying, right? Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. And it's easy to have a script until you actually jump on the call and it's time to follow the script, right? It's like you said, everyone thinks that they're going to have all this built out and everything's going to work out and they're going to plan everything before they go into market. But like you just said, Usually, that's not how it works. Usually, it's just about taking action. It's just about taking the steps, anyways. It's just about showing up and doing what you need to do to actually go and sign clients. Because, like you just said right now, we had practiced before the call. We had done a little role play, right? We'd given you a demo script to give, to speak with when you get on the call with the client. But like you just said, you showed up to that call and it was a people business. It was a dialogue. You had to connect with the person. You had to build rapport. You had to make sure they like you, right? They know you, they trust you, right? And you had already done that on the call. So now when it comes to actually closing that deal, I can't do that for you, Pauline, right? That's the part that you had to stay in control of, right? Now, how has the system actually changed the way you think about getting clients now? Because we know where you are right now. 2-3 days in, we know where you're currently at, right? Well, what did that deal actually mean to you? Because that was your first sales call, right? I don't think this has actually ever happened. Like, you're the first case that I've had. Your first sales call ever, and you closed your first sales call ever. What did that deal mean to you? Like, mentally, even financially, what did that deal mean to you?
I was so excited. I could hardly contain myself. I just couldn't believe that he was interested in what I had to offer. And it just blew me away.
And how did it feel going from a year, you spent a year, no results, 15K down the drain? How did it feel going from that, no wins, to getting a client within 2 to 3 days? Insane.
Yeah, I felt ecstatic. Was so happy that I felt like I had finally figured things out.
That's so awesome. I'm so happy for you. Honestly, it's insane, because the system right now is changed the way even you think about getting clients. Like you just said, you now feel like you've got it figured out. Now it's changed the way you think about getting clients. Now you think it's easy to go and get clients, and that's the whole point. We want to make it easy for you, because when this person jumped on the call, Pauline, we didn't even mention this part yet. This person that jumped on the call with you, tell us, how did you know that they were qualified? How did you know they had the money to work with you? Number one, how did they know you already? How did they see your face already? How did they trust you? How did you do all of these things before they even jumped on a call with you? What was the process that we helped implement for you?
Well, one of the things is when they had a positive to the offer that we sent out, after they scheduled a call, they got my video that talks about a bunch of the different things that my system can help them do.
And how does that help you?
I think it set them up already knowing what I was going to be offering and what I was about. And so they already came in kind of knowing that they were interested in what the system offered.
And now this person, when they jump on the call with you, it's like when you jumped on a call with me, you saw my videos already, right? And when you jumped on the call with me, you already saw my face. You already knew who I was. You already somewhat liked me, trusted me. And most importantly, Pauline, you already told yourself that you want to buy from me before you ever even spoke to me on a call. And it's the exact same thing that you are doing right now with your own clients, right?
Yeah.
This guy that you closed yesterday, he jumped on the call with you. He already saw your face. He already knew who you are. He already knew, he already liked you, trusted you. And he already decided that he wants to work with you before you even had to speak to him, Pauline. That's insane, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Awesome. Now, with where you are right now, do you feel like with the system that we've implemented, now you have a predictable way to grow? Because before, it was kind of like crossing your fingers and hoping for the best. What is it? What do you feel like now?
Yeah, I feel like I've got a way forward and I can just pick up momentum from here.
Awesome. And what's your goal? Now that you're hot stuff now. You've closed the client in your first call. You've closed someone in your first day. What is your goal? Now that you know that it's easy, right? Now that your mindset has shifted, now that you know it's actually possible and that there are no limits, what's your goals? I want you to think big, because I am going to hold you to this. And you know I'm going to hold you to this. And we've got it on video. So what is the goal for the next month, the next 2 months, the next 3 months, hell, the next year?
Well, I'd like to try to get 10 clients is my first goal,
Hmm.
and kind of build from there. I'm hoping to be closer to about 20 or so in the next 6 months.
Awesome. And just to wrap this all up, right? If someone's watching this and they were in the same position that you were in 6 months ago, right? What would you say to that person who's watching this video right now? Why should they even look at our program and give it any level of thought? Why should they come into our program? And what do you say to those people that have been on the fence, right? Watching my stuff for a while, looking at what we do. What do you say to those people about actually committing and actually taking action just like you did?
If you get an opportunity to work with Sage, you should jump on it and take it. He's definitely going to steer you in the right direction and help you get where you need to be.
Awesome. Now, let's wrap this up. I've been Saeed. This is Pauline, and I am going to check in with her in the next 6 months, and we'll see how she got on with the 20 clients. I'm sure she's going to have no issues at all. Thank you so much, Pauline.